found out we didn't sure how to fish it and stuff. And later, start making more trips and getting into them, you know.
Yeah. What's your best trip over to the gorge?
Well,
fish over 10.
Over 10, oh, yeah. The one time I went in December, it was in December, over New Year's, in fact. And the first afternoon I got there and I would start fishing at noon, I was fishing about a half an hour, I caught a 14 and a half.
Nice.
And then at 4 o'clock I got a 10-pounder, and at 4:30 I got 11 and a half. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to fill a boat with them this trip. I had 3 over 10 the first afternoon. Then the next day it was like glassy out, never got bite. Then I think for 2 days I never got nothing, maybe a couple little ones. And then it got, every time it was glassy it wouldn't bite when it was breezy. Then I caught another one. I caught another one just over 10. A really hard fighting fish. It was 4 below zero in the boat when I caught him.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it was cold. And I caught him on the 18 skinny. I was going slow, and I speeded up past this point, and he grabbed him. And then I caught another one. I caught a 12-pounder like a couple days later, and then I had another one that was probably the record. I had him on for an hour, and he hung me in the bush in the bottom. And I know it was a problem because he boiled and charged the boat, and then he tried to spool me, and I would follow him. And anyway, bad scene. I had him on for a whole hour, and he finally hung me in the bush, and I had to break him off.
But it wasn't always like that, right? I mean, you had some really tough trips on the gorge, too.
Yeah, a lot of trips. Yeah, a lot of trips that didn't bite at all. It would get cold. It would start to thaw. You try to go at ice out, and then it would refreeze when you got there. That type of thing. Or you have it in the boat in Sheep Creek, and you go back to your room. You come in the morning, the whole bait is an inch of ice overnight.
Jeez.
Yeah, all the weather was violent over there.
Did you ever get any good burns? Did you ever burn anybody on the gorge good?
No, I didn't. I was actually kind of lucky that way as far as getting them. I mean, I got 18 with Howard and Talon once. That's after Bringhurst caught his. We went up there and I got one. But we fished 4 days. We only had little ones the first 4 days. I got him the 5th day. Anyway, but, yeah, I don't know. Other guys got them good.
Yeah.
Is
Is that about when the brown baggers started? Tell me about how the brown baggers started, the club, and how long it's been going.
Started in the boat. Ryan rolled me. We were up for twin trolling, and I told him, we ought to start a club. We ought to start a club because we were like radical on browns, you know, worried about them and fishing hard, doing this, and he says, yeah, he actually named the name. He named it Brown Baggers.
Reinwald did.
He named the name, and I had the idea, and I sent letters out to 8 of us. There was 8 original.
Do you remember who those 8 were?
Yeah, it was Brian Shibley of Mammoth, and actually lives in Crawley Lake, and Lane, Reinwald, me, Howard, Ed Bond, Ray Patterson. Yeah, because he was Bishop, and Talon. So it was like basically a group from Bishop. Wow,
and Patterson and Lane are still fishing, aren't they?
No, Patterson kind of quit. He's got much more of this to do.
Okay, and Reinwald passed away, so there's really only you and Lane that are still catching big ones.
Yeah, Lane's 75 years old now, and he's still kind of trim, you know. He kind of gets around, but you know, he's slowing down like everybody.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about a story about you and Ron Lane, a good fishing story. Maybe a good trip you guys had or something, or...
I actually didn't fish with Ron Lane a lot. I did,
really?
But I fished more with Howard. Yeah, no, I did. Not that much. I mean, he was kind of there, and I never really fished with him a lot myself. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, that is funny. But you fish with Reinwald a lot, right?
Yeah, Reinwald and Howard.
Tell me a fishing story about you and Reinwald, a good day you guys had together.
Oh, I got one with a couple of them. One of them up at Lower Twin, we were up there fishing. It was like the end of July, and I caught one fishing deep, a 6-pounder, first brown anybody's seen in months. End of July, June, July.
Right.
I got a 6-pounder, and we went in the restaurant. We're talking to these guys. We said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get a big one." We got out the first light in the morning. Fishing. It was raining lightly in the morning. Kind of like it was with stripers yesterday, or biting yesterday.
Yeah, I heard you got a 22-pound striper yesterday.
Yeah, I got 4 of them. I had a big one on. It was taking line. It was heavy. It was a heavy fish. I had him halfway in. He got off.
Oh.
I hate that. I don't know. You never know how big they are when that happens. But anyway. So we went out in the morning, and he said, "Oh, I don't want to get up. You want to get up." And, we're sleeping in his truck, his Jeep. And I told him, "You better get out there. I'll get a big one." And so he used my rod, my lure, and everything, a Rainbow Magnum Impala, and we're trolling along. He said, "Oh, I think I got one about 6:30 in the morning." I said, "Yeah, you ain't got nothing. They're just like weeds. Some of the big ones just like snags." And he says, "Yeah, salt them, but you ain't got nothing. Just reel in here. Get your weeds off your line." All of a sudden, we looked out there, and he says, "Look," and he sequel for diving. There's this brown swimming on the top.
Oh.
I do have one, he said. Yeah, if you reel it in, the thing, then you start fighting around the boat. It should have weighed more, but on what's his name, owned the resort in, the old, God, I can't think of his name anyway. He said the biggest hook tail I ever seen from out of lake. It weighed 15-12 in his tail, but it should have weighed a lot more.
15-12?
15-12, but it had a big head and a tail. It should have weighed a lot more.
Oh, man.
I mean, it was a monster. It had the features, the big tail, the big adipose fin, one of them kind. You can imagine. It's a big fish.
Oh, yeah.
I so lucky he had that Magnum halfway down his throat. My lure. I told him, I should have let you slip. So lucky. I basically put the rod in his hand and got him up and wand him and give him a cup of coffee here, get in the boat, and he gets the big one. So now I don't wake people up no more. If they want to sleep, let them sleep. You wake them up, they're going to burn you every time. Don't forget that either.
Oh, man.
I keep telling people that they take these novices out. Oh, hey, here's how you do it. Here, take the rod, go out. They're going to get a big one. That's all the time.
Yep.
Not that it's a bad thing. It's just that it's funny how it is.
Yeah, it's funny how that works. It's like sometimes you go out on the party boats ocean fishing, and the guy who's got the rental rod ends up catching the jackpot. It happens all the time.
It does. I have no idea why it is.
That's funny. Well, do you have a story about Bringhurst and you? Didn't you guys go lake trout fishing up the gorge once and really start nailing them?
Yeah. We went up there, and we got a bunch of them. We got 25 or 30 of them over 10, which is also on my lure. We just experiment at different sizes.
Was that when you were kind of first trying out the AC plug for trout?
Kind of trying it out, yeah, because I figured the 9-inch, I don't know, it's kind of big, but 3, 4, 5-inch stuff for browns, and we get max once in a while, and so I started putting out the 9-inch. Boom, I got a 26 on that, and I put the 12-inch. I bit that too. They bite all of them.
Yeah, you guys
stick them with the little ones, and I was catching 20-pounders. He didn't like it so much. Not too much, especially since we had a thing. The biggest fish had to bite the buffet down in the Mesquite.
The biggest fish had to bite.
The buffets are only like $6 a piece. Not very much, and it's not very. It doesn't matter that much, That's funny.
Oh man, that's crazy.
No.
So let's see. So AC plugs. Tell me a little bit about when you started building the lures and stuff. Tell me a little bit about the history of AC plugs.
Well, I moved down from Bishop because of work. It slowed down, and there was actually I had to move to Sunland. I ran a house and went broke, and because it just slowed down in Mammoth and all that. And my brother moved to Idaho, and so I said, "Yeah, I'm out of here." I moved to Idaho for a while, and it didn't work out in the winter, so 6 months. Anyway, got down there and was doing job work with my other brother. And you
were painting houses at the time, right?
Painting houses and apartments. We got in with this guy that was doing all kinds of apartments, like hundreds of them. He's doing 50 units, 30 units. So we got in when he was cheap, but he paid fast, and he had to work fast. But I thought, hey, The guy pays fast, so that's a good thing. And he wasn't like the guy, when you got the work done, he paid you the same day, one of them kind of guys. So we just kept going, but he was cheap. So we learned how to do it fast, and we did a lot of work, and decided to start making good money. Finally, I moved to Lancaster, and there was stripers up there. And how we found out about stripers, actually, I got to give credit where credit due. Rago was catching them because his cousin Andy lived up there and was going to Pyramid, and he had 3 stripers. Like Howard said, "Oh, Rago could buy you 3 10-pounders." That's really, because I went up there 3-4 times. I didn't catch nothing. I had no idea how to catch them. Well, he said, "Oh, the trout plant, and you this and that, and use bombers and stuff, that. So anyway, so we caught some. My first big one was 25-pounder of Pyramid, right at dark. And I thought, oh, this is fun. So we were at the ramp, and when they come in stocking, they were hitting these trouts. So I thought, I got to make something look like a trout. So I started carving and messing around with like with a J plug or something, a big J plug. And anyways, I caught fish on it. I caught what I catch, 7 or 8 over 25. I still got the lure on a 12-inch. Straight round one looks like a big cigar. It's stupid. It doesn't even swim good, but they did it. And so then when we were in there practicing in Lancaster, and I lived there, we had a pool, we jointed one. Actually, it was my Eric's idea. We joined.
That's your son, right? That's your son, Eric?
Yeah, it was actually his idea. I got to give him credit where credit's due. But he was going to school. He's like 12, 13, and he'd mess with me. Hey, just join one. So I did it. He just had the idea. I did it. And I had to learn. I said, hey, it swims good, looks all right. And I didn't think much about catching them on the straight one. So I kept using it. One day we're up there, the straight one didn't work, and I pulled this thing out of the sack when they stopped, and I caught 3 big ones, man. It was like I couldn't believe it. And then
How many did you get?
I got 3 of them. I got 18, a 24, and a 20 or something like that. Nobody else got nothing.
So that's kind of when it hit you.
They wanted to see that lure, and I thought, oh, that's just some lure. I just kept it. Because I kept the secret, because I did it with that rainbow thing. So I went and got Steve Keene, and we went up there and we caught, what did we catch? We got 7 fish up to 26 pounds. And then I went to Silverwood, and I'm trolling along, and I wasn't trolling 16 minutes. I got a 30-pounder. And I thought, oh, my God. Then I went to Cascade. After that, this guy told me, you got to go to Cascade, try that bass. I go to Cascade, build a 12-inch one. And I'm trolling like for browns with leaded line, and it's pouring rain, because it's December 7th, the day the bomb dropped, Jim Nasty, the outdoor writer, said.
Right.
So I figured they're not on top, so they're down, so even in the rain. So I was throwing like 6 colors and kind of bouncing around, working ashore. And I thought, hey, ain't going to get none. In fact, the lifeguard boat says, hey, time to go, you got to be in at 5. And it's like 4:30, and I looked over my rod, and it's bouncing. And it boiled back there. I reeled in a 15-pounder, my first big one.
No way. Your first time ever trying for him.
Well, I tried for him with bombers and cotton.
Well, your first time going to Castaic.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, with that big lure.
That's crazy.
So then I start fishing and start figuring, I got to do this some more. So I went like every day that week I was off work, and I caught 3 more with 10, and the bass guys went berserk. Because they don't bite in December like that. Oh, this guy's doing trout. They had me on the Donna Vino show.
I remember all that. That's about when I was in high school. I remember reading all that in Western Outdoor News.
It totally stirred them up. It was like in the L.A. Times. It was like everywhere.
Yeah, because the bass guys were used to using little hooks and stuff, and here you came with this big, huge lure. And
well, what surprised me is when that 15-pounder bit, that's all I need to see. I didn't need to see nothing more, man. I went berserk myself. I want to fish every minute with it. And I went up to Candid and start catching big ones over there.
Yeah, I remember the first time I ever met you was about 1992 or something like that. I saw you at a Fred Hall show, and you were swimming your AC plug in one of the little fly casting
one of the trouts in the back guys tried to get me kicked out. They said, that lure is creating a ruckus. Isn't that crazy? Now they all claim, we had that lure. No, they didn't have it. They didn't call the game warden. They didn't know what it was. And it actually just happened for me. I invented the whole damn swim thing. Everybody knows. They all remember, know it's everybody that you know.
Yeah, I remember that pretty vividly because as soon as I saw your lure in the water, I said, "Oh man,